Park City may be home to numbers of large game, deer, elk, moose, but that is nothing compared to what you would find in the Masai Mara in Kenya, of course. Lion, giraffe, elephant, leopard, and all other manner of big cats and large animals. Jackson Looseyia is here. He is a guide in Kenya. And Jackson, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
So tell us a little bit about life, everyday life in the Masai Mara. It's not, it's very different from what most people are used to.
Correct. Masai Mara, just to give you a background of it, is one of the best or richest ecosystems in East Africa. It's got lots of game, lots of elephants, hippopotamus, lions, cheetahs, and leopards, and of course many other small species. That is where I work. That is my home, as well as that is my office. Masai Mara, at the same time, is a place where a lot of people around the world, name it from United States, the whole of Europe, Australia, and South Africa, they all flood and come in for holiday. So it's a place that a lot of people will come, both for pleasure, photographic opportunities, as well as to come and enjoy with their families, with children.
And it's important, really, for Kenya and for the people who live in the Masai Mara, that these people come, not just to provide funds for the economy, but to learn about the fragile nature of the ecosystem.
Yeah, that is one of the important parts of any national park, that it is a joy for everybody else to enjoy and protect those wildlife. It is a big learning curve for all of us being here, and when I travel in your own country and seeing what you have preserved for the benefit of the economy of the country, but most so for the species that lives there who are highly threatened. Is exactly the same thing for the Masai Mara and the people of the Mara, the Ma people, that these people have a fantastic time when they visit our own country and see the wildlife, but also to help us to understand the importance of these species that live among us.
And how, we've heard, over, in years past, that the animals were mostly threatened, by big game hunters that would come, before there was national protection for these parks. How has the protection of the animals and what keeps them still under threat in the current situation?
When you hear of the species being threatened in the Masai Mara or in Kenya, it's mainly poaching. It's not, Kenya as a country prohibit any game hunting. So we do not allow any trophies hunters to come to Kenya and do any of the hunting work there. However, because of the other people around other worlds of the countries who come and steal those trophies, a lot of other species get threatened. Elephants, for instance, you get people who come and steal these animals' ivories, and they kill these animals, and the animals get absolutely threatened. And then on the other hand, you've got people who are absolutely senseless when it comes to killing of these animals. They don't have that feeling that these wildlife will one day be extinct if it is not looked after. So the rhino, for instance, we've got about 600 rhinos, if that, in the whole country. About 20 years ago, we've got about 2,000 rhinoceroses. Now, if that particular number continued to decline, before we know, in Kenya, we have no rhinos left. And we as a people, as a tribe, we are big contributors to the wildlife and conservation, to protect these animals, to get the education to the grassroots, so that people who live among these animals will have a good understanding and a way of protecting them.
What would happen if the rhino becomes extinct? How and what happens to the people if suddenly there's fewer and fewer animals and there's fewer opportunities for ecotourism, for people to come on safari? What happens to the people of the Masai Mara?
What happened to the people? It will be a very sad day for the world if we wake up and suddenly realize that the rhinoceros is not with us, or is no longer with us. A rhino is a big attraction, and also any species, as far as I'm concerned, if they die and the reason is our fault, it's got a big impact within our own lives. Animals have a lot that we can learn from. Wherever there are animals, it is safer for us to live. Whenever the animals die, it's no longer safe for us. So those animals have got a big play within the ecosystem. They plant trees within the way of browsing and grazing. The germination of plants goes through the process of those animals. You will all of a sudden realize certain species plants have already died as a result, or will be extinct as a result of missing those particular species, such as rhinoceroses. Therefore, we need to protect them for our benefit, because some of these animals are connected to our planet in a bigger way. So we need to look at a bigger picture rather than just saying us and the cattle and the goats, or us and our chicken, and even those chicken and those cows will not survive in an environment that the rhinos no longer roam.
It seems strange to think about that you need to have lions and leopards and cheetahs, these big cats, big dangerous cats with big large claws and fangs among the people. But that's a fascinating perspective on the interconnectedness of man and the animal world.
It is indeed. These predators, which we look and view as the most dangerous animals, like your bears, if they live among people, you think, oh, this would be absolutely terrifying. But on the other hand, they eliminate the weak and the sick. Some of these animals will bring sicknesses to us, but their way of feeding is totally different to our way of feeding. If they eliminate the one which have viruses and bacteria, some of these bacteria get away from us. And if we destroy the food chain by killing all the predators, so obviously the coyotes and the jackals and the lions and the foxes and all the list of the big predators, then who will cull the other animals? Who will eliminate the weak? In our own lifestyle, we have kept the weak, and we are suffering as a species, keeping the weak among ourselves. Now, if we want to control that particular way of nature, protecting and making it a good balance, then we will suffer big time.
Jackson, if people do want to help, what is the best way for them to help? Is it donations to the World Conservation Fund, World Wildlife Fund, or through non-governmental organizations, or is it best to go and be there and see it for yourself?
Well, there are two different ways of helping here. You can donate your own funds to the wildlife conservation bodies, conservancies which are based on community. You can also be there and be a participant, either building a bridge or building something. Participate with your own hands so that that particular participation can touch your life, because some people have been totally disconnected from nature. You may not have at any time ever in your life to be in the Masai Mara. Of course, it is a very expensive destination. It's very far. You need to pay your ticket to get there. It's not that cheap. However, little bit by little bit will make a big difference. But participate in any natural world that it can be. It can be in the state, it can be in Africa, it can be any other part. As long as we are participating in conservation, a little bit will take us a long way.
All right, Jackson, thank you so much for coming in, and have a great adventure here. I'm sorry we brought you snow. It's a little different from your home.
If you want to come to the Masai Mara, you always have to remember to come through somebody. And I'm here in Park City, and we've got safari expert teamlapage.com. If you remember Safari Experts, that's Team LaPage, who lives here with you, and you want to book a safari to come and see me in my office. That is the way to go, and hope to see you in Kenya someday.
I would love to do that. I've shared my office with you. I'd love to share yours with me.
Thank you very
much. Thank you so much. We'll be back with a whole lot more right after this.